So, let's talk about AI. Tools like ChatGPT are everywhere, and they're really changing how we study and learn. They can be incredibly helpful, right? But, and this is a big but, if you use them the wrong way, you could get into some serious trouble. So today, we're going to walk through step by step how to use AI ethically. That way you get all the benefits without risking your academic record.
This is probably the biggest question on every student's mind right now. How can I use these amazing new tools to help me with my studies, but also make sure that I'm keeping my academic record safe and protecting the value of my degree? It's all about finding that right balance, and that's exactly what we're going to figure out together in this explainer. Here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about AI's role in your studies and make a really important distinction, seeing it as a tool, not a source. Then we'll get into the specifics, what's okay to do versus what's not okay. We'll also map out an ethical way to use it in your research and cover how to properly cite it. And we'll finish up by looking at how all of this helps you succeed with academic integrity.
All right, let's dive in. The truth is, AI presents a huge opportunity for students, but it also comes with a pretty big challenge. So, what's at the heart of that challenge? Let's break it down.
Okay, so the number one rule at any university, and this is super important, is that the work you hand in has to be your own. Your thoughts, your research, your words. But of course, you're allowed to use support tools. You've always used them, right? Like a calculator, or a dictionary, or a grammar checker. That's totally fine. The best way to think about AI is just like that. It's a new, really powerful support tool. If you use it the right way, it can definitely help. But if you don't, it can cause real harm to your academic career.
This brings us to what is maybe the single most important idea we're going to talk about today. To use AI the right way, you have to be crystal clear on what it is and what it isn't. So let's define its role in your university work. First, let's just quickly remember what a real academic source is. We're talking about things like peer-reviewed articles, the official textbooks for your class, and information you find in the university's library databases. Why do professors insist on these? Because they provide the evidence, the proof, for the arguments you make in your papers. This slide makes the difference perfectly clear. On the left, you can see what AI is great for. It can generate language, it can help you brainstorm ideas, or it can explain a difficult concept in a simple way. But the right side here is what's absolutely crucial. AI is not an academic source. It doesn't do original research, and the information it gives you has not been verified or fact-checked. This is why you can never use it as evidence to support your claims.
Okay, so if we know AI is a tool, what are the rules for using it? Let's look at what is perfectly acceptable and then what is definitely not. These are all fantastic, helpful ways to use AI. Think of it as your personal brainstorming partner. Or maybe it's like a tutor that can help you understand a tricky concept. It can even be a coach that helps you plan your essay and make your academic language stronger. You see the pattern here, right? In every case, you're using the tool to support your own learning and your own thinking. You're not asking it to replace you.
Now for the other side, the things you must never do. Submitting text written by an AI as if it's your own work is a huge problem. So is copying and pasting its answers directly into your assignments. Asking it to write your whole essay for you or using it so you don't have to do the required reading, well, that's considered academic misconduct. And why? Because the university is there to grade your abilities, your thinking, your reading, and your writing skills, not the AI's.
And this is why following the rules is so critical. Using AI in an unacceptable way can lead to failing your course or even being removed from the university. At the end of the day, your unique thoughts and your own writing skills are what you are here to improve. That's what your degree really represents. So let's move from the rules to a real, practical, step-by-step process. How can you use AI in an ethical way from the very beginning of a project all the way to the end?
Let's walk through this together. Step 1, choosing your topic. It's totally fine to use AI to brainstorm some ideas, but you have to make the final decision. Step 2, finding your sources. This is where you have to go to the university library and its databases to find trustworthy academic articles and books. Step 3 is probably the most important part. You have to do the reading. You have to understand the material. Only after you've done that work do you get to step 4. Now you can use AI as a support tool to maybe help you organize your ideas or check your grammar.
This quote really says it all, doesn't it? No matter how you use AI to help you, the real thinking, the analysis, the core arguments, all of that must come from you. All right, let's tackle a topic that I know can be a little confusing for students: being honest and open about your AI use. How do you actually show your professor that you've used these tools in an ethical way?
The rules for acknowledging AI can be different in every single class, so the most important thing you can do is really simple. Always check your course syllabus first. That is your guide. And if you're still not sure about something, just ask your instructor. Believe me, they would much rather you ask a question than make a mistake. Honesty is always the key.
Some of your instructors might ask you to include a statement that looks something like this. Look at what it does. It clearly and honestly explains how you use the tool. And it also shows that you did the most important work yourself. The research, the analysis, the writing. This is how you build trust with your instructor.
So what about specific citation styles like APA, MLA, or Chicago? Well, the rules for citing AI are still pretty new, and they can change. But the good news is you don't have to guess. As you can see here, the official rules for your class will always be in your course syllabus, in the assignment description, or in your department's guidelines. The main thing is to look for those instructions and follow them exactly.
Now, this is a critical point to remember. You should never cite an AI tool as a source for facts, data, or evidence. And why is that? Because AI is not a research database. It's not an author. It's not a peer-reviewed study. Its output can't be used as academic proof for your arguments.
All right, we're almost at the end. Let's bring everything together and talk about how you can move forward from here and succeed with total confidence.
This slide really summarizes the entire message perfectly. Use AI to support your learning, to improve your academic language, and to build your confidence. But never, ever let it replace the three most essential skills you are at university to develop: your ability to read critically, to think for yourself, and to write clearly. So what's the path to success? It really just comes down to these three simple rules. First, always check and follow the rules for your specific course. Second, use the exact citation style your instructor asks for. And third, always be honest and transparent about how you've used AI. It's that simple.
Following these guidelines is all about one thing: protecting your academic integrity. That's your number one asset as a student. It's what protects your grades, the value of your degree, and all of the future opportunities that your education will open up for you.
So we'll leave you with this final question to think about. Now that you know the rules and the ethical way to do things, how will you use AI to support your education, not replace it? How will you make sure that you are always the one doing the essential work of learning? Think about that and use these amazing tools wisely. Thanks for joining us.